I the asshole for being distant with my brother-in-law ever since he came out as gay? Am I the asshole for telling my roommate that I don't give an F about her boyfriend's allergies? I, 24 female, have been living in a roommate with my I, 24 female, have been rooming with my roommate. With my roommate Layla, 25 female, for about 10 months. We have a 2-year lease, so I really wanted to fix this so we're not miserable for the next year. And to start, I need to see if I'm in the wrong. Layla started dating Kyle 6 months ago. Kyle has severe food allergies to shellfish, nuts, and soy, as well as a lot more mild, moderate allergies. Go take a dookie and you'll be fine. I use nuts and soy a lot in my cooking and some occasional shrimp. At first, Layla would tell me when Kyle was coming over and I would adjust to whatever I was planning on making if it was something that would be Asian. And this was fine. He never had any reactions at our apartment for my food. But it slowly escalated, and now they want me to not keep any ingredient in the apartment that could cause him to, if I'm not actively eating or cooking it while he's over. I've refused, and they both pushed back on it a lot. And then I snapped a little and told them I don't give a fuck about his allergies. I can accommodate to an extent, but I don't care if the contents of my cabinet make him uncomfortable. He doesn't need to be near my things at all. They're being very dramatic and insisting I'm gonna kill him with my selfishness. My selfishness by having closed jars and nuts in the kitchen I pay to use. But I'm not gonna have a diet restricted by someone who doesn't even live here. Layla isn't speaking to me at all right now, and I feel a little bad now because I do understand how serious allergies are, but also think they're overextending boundaries by telling me I can or can't eat even when he's not here. Yeah, you're definitely not the asshole, actually. How about he doesn't come over? Go to his house, his fraternity. I don't know what he's in. He's probably in a frat. His name is Kyle. Literally go to his house or don't. He shouldn't be touching your stuff in the first place. I do understand what you did at the beginning. You said like you'd be careful around food earlier and you would like take stuff out or whatever. That is like you did really well. That's perfect. He should be happy with that because not a lot of people would even care to do that. You're not the asshole. Labeled. Oh, but would I be the asshole? Am I the asshole for going to work while my wife is having her appendix out? Ooh. My 31 male. You're the 31 male, not the parents. You. And you're 32 female. Oh. Was having a ton of really bad abdominal pain last weekend. I drove her to the urgent care Saturday morning. She didn't want to go, but I basically made her. Urgent care made her go to the ER where they determined that her appendix needed to come out that day. She called her mom before surgery. Her mom must have told both my parents as well because all three, her mom, my mom, and dad, ended up at the hospital to be with her during her surgery. Now here's where the conflict lies. I was scheduled to work at 5 p.m. that night. I've just started a new job that pays well. I've only started a couple weeks ago, so I am brand new to it, and I didn't want to call in. They probably would have been cool given the circumstances, but I still didn't want to do it. I didn't even have the PTO for it. I would have either had to take the day unpaid or gone negative on my PTO. So while my wife was having surgery, I went into work and pulled my shift. My wife is upset with me. She's accusing me of abandoning her, but I think that's unfair. She was having a completely routine surgery and she had plenty of company and support. It was unfortunate that I couldn't be there and I feel bad about it, but it's not as if I'm the surgeon and could have made a difference. I had to work, period, and I'm new there to call in. The timing sucked, but my wife's health outcomes were the same either way. My mother gets it and so does my father, but my mom thinks I should have called in. Am I the asshole? You're not the asshole. This is a fun one. Let's read it. Am I the asshole for being distant with my brother-in-law ever since he came out as gay? What are you trying to say? You are a male who's 28, and your wife, Sandra, love, is 27, and her family is from Spain. Her parents and three siblings, Ricardo, Anna, and Bruno, live there in the US too with their respective families. Everyone but Bruno, who is the youngest, is married, as they're from a different culture that do some stuff that we would consider weird in America. One of which is giving a kiss on the cheek as a hi. I've grown used to it, but so I didn't mind it until now. Until like 2 months ago, maybe a little bit more, Bruno called the whole family to tell us he's gay. I don't hate gay people, and I never thought of myself as a homophobe. I don't hate gay people. I congratulated Bruno, as did everyone else. We were having a good time in family after that, and this is when my problem came. Bruno said in front of everyone else that if I wasn't married to his sister, he would jump on me. Everyone laughed, but it was certainly uncomfortable to me. Later, he doubled down and said by saying I have a cute ass. Might I add that Anna's husband was there too, and Bruno said nothing to him, only me. When Sandra and I came back home, I tried speaking about how uncomfortable his joke has made me feel, but she just brushed it off by saying that Bruno has always made jokes like that. She doesn't see why this is different. Next time we saw each other, which was soon after that because her family is really close, was at our home. Bruno had come to pick up my eldest two kids off to take them to a baseball game. When I opened the door, Bruno said hi and then leaned in to kiss me. I realized that he kissed me too close to my lips rather than my cheek. After that, wherever we saw each other, I just pretended to be sick or to be busy and just need to shake his hand as a hi. Apparently, Bruno has noticed this because yesterday my wife came up to him and asked me if Bruno has done anything to make him angry. She told me Bruno has seen me off every time he's near and wants to know if he should apologize or something. I've told her the same thing I had told her before, plus the kiss thing. She told me I'm exaggerating. Bruno was just joking. I've tried telling her that it makes me very weird that your brother-in-law, keyword brother, would tell me he likes me and would pursue a relationship with me if I wasn't already in the family. I've tried saying that I can't talk to Bruno about this, but she told me not to do. I've tried saying that I can't talk to Bruno about this, but she told me not to do it. Wait, so you said you can't talk about it and she said don't talk about it? I'm confused. She told me that if my reasons to not give him a kiss are because I'm homophobic, then she'll made up a lie for Bruno. She's told me she's very disappointed. Am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole. Because also the way you phrased it, like that was a weird way to phrase it. Just be like, my cousin has been kissing me weird recently. You know?
Child. Anyway, so
we have a good one. We have a good one. My father passed away last month and I decided not to go to his funeral. When I was 5 years old, he left my mother to be with another woman and had no contact with me or my siblings for 30 years. Oh my lord. Our childhood was horrible, with a mother who has an addiction and a stepfather raising us. Last year, my siblings wanted to find him, so I did some research and located him for them to build a relationship. I didn't have the desire for a relationship at that point. Since deciding not to attend his funeral, my siblings will no longer speak to me and my maternal relative won't speak to me because I've located him for my siblings. Am I the asshole? You're not the asshole. Were you labeled the asshole? No, you weren't labeled at all. I don't think you're the asshole. I don't think you're the asshole because he didn't speak to you for literally 3 decades. And I also think that your maternal relative shouldn't be mad at you because they asked you to help. And I don't know how old you are, but it's clear that you had more resources to do that. I don't think you're the asshole. I'm really sorry that you had to deal with that because how old were you when it happened? You were 5 and he didn't speak to you for 30 years and then he died. You didn't have any experience with him or anything. Honestly, I think you should have gone to the wedding and talked crap about him in a eulogy. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm gonna act down dramatic. Let's end off strong. Am I the asshole for letting my siblings call me mom? I, at 23 female, am one of 5 kids. I have 3 brothers and a little sister, 15, 11, and 9, and a baby sibling who is a year and a half old. To sum it up, I have been raising my siblings since I was maybe 10. Okay, Fiona Gallagher. Let's give him Fiona Gallagher. You wait. I made her on the way to Chicago. And my parents had me at 15. Whoa! So they were 25 when you started raising your children. I'm gonna say it like that. Your CPS was involved, but my parents definitely knew how to put on an act, and I was too scared to speak up in fear of losing my siblings. Until I was 18, my parents, siblings, and I all lived under one roof. They weren't really around apart from late at night, as they cared more about fun stuff. When I moved out, I took the three at the time with me. It's a long story of how, and I won't get into it now. A few years later, my new baby sibling was also with us. Then again, long story as to why. My brother, 15, had seizures when he was a toddler, and it was terrifying, but he hadn't had one in a long time until recently. It was very scary and very sudden. My boyfriend lives with us, and we both were just trying to comfort him until it was over. He stopped breathing and scared the living daylight out of me. It really hit me how afraid I was of losing one of these kids. I was trying everything I could to get him to breathe again, but since it was from a seizure, I didn't know what to do. We got him to breathe and was quickly deciding the best approach. Is it an ambulance matter or a drive to the hospital matter? I realized I didn't know much about his medical background as to why he had seizures, as it was something I thought about. Since I'm not their legal guardian, I don't have easy access to that stuff. I forced my parents to come down to our place by threatening them. I was still with my brother when they got there. I was holding up his head in my lap and stroking his hair to comfort him. He finally woke up instead of subtly and got a bit startled. Now in the past, based on only remembering me growing up, he has slipped up and said mom, but corrects himself. But this time he said mom because he was scared, and he was looking up at me worried and concerned. This was the first ever seizure he remembered experiencing, so it was scary. She says I don't deserve the title as I didn't give birth to any of them. You did that. Yeah. I was feeling pretty petty because she really has the nerve to say that when her son just had a seizure, and I practically had to force her to come see him. I ended up telling her the baby calls me mama, and I refer to all of them as my kids. She calls me a sick woman for just taking her family. I get I took them, but it was only because it was safer that way. Am I the asshole? My brother's okay now, by the way. He was just seriously sick with something and it triggered a seizure. He's doing well now and back to his normal self. I'm going to file for custody as soon as I can. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. You are not the asshole in any way whatsoever. This is just one of the few that we hear. I think what you did is truly one of the best things that a person can do. Like what you did, you sacrificed your childhood, your teen years, your 20s to raise these kids. And you have every right to call them your children. You have every right. They're your kids. They're not your mom's. Your mom sucks. She sucks. Auntie your mother. Auntie your mother. Okay, everyone, that's it for tonight. Thank you for coming. If you want more Am I the Assholes, comment down below. I actually wanted to do more movie reviews and stuff like that, and like what Dylan Is in Trouble does with like the first and last episodes of shows that I've never seen before. I did Prom Pact, and so if you like this, please like it, subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.